the South African Municipal Workers Union says there's nothing to celebrate about the municipal audit outcomes. It's after Auditor-General Kimi Makwetu once again sounded the alarm about spending at municipalities. Joining us to discuss this further is the organization's Koena Ramotlou and Samwu's Secretary General. Koena, good evening and thank you so much for your time tonight. Firstly, the Auditor-General, the picture that he paints is one that has been there for years now. I suppose the only thing is that it keeps getting worse. How would you say that this translates then into the experience of your members, their ability to do their jobs in many of these local councils?
Good evening and good evening to the viewers. Firstly, I want to thank the opportunity you are giving to us, and also want to indicate that we appreciate the report coming from the AG, and when go further and say it has been us as some who have been raising the matter that relates to the level of skills of municipalities, municipal managers, and those who are entrusted to do work in municipalities. And in this context, from what the AG is saying, we want the AG to take a step further to then say, now that there's been an amendment made from the Act for him to be able to go to municipalities and issue directives that ensures that people can be prosecuted, and those who have stolen money by bypassing the supply chain processes should be prosecuted. We're waiting for him to come now, name those who are involved based on his report.
When one looks at the lack of consequence management, it of course leads to the cycle that has been perpetuated over the number of years that at least Kimi Makwetu has been the Auditor-General. What do you think that moves like what we've seen in the ANC and the reinstatement of those implicated in taking money that was meant to be used for local services, putting it into VBS, what do you think that does?
In fact, part of what we understand is that the process that the ANC has been involved in deploying cadres to be employed in the serious positions in municipalities should be looked into, because we require people who are competent, who are able to protect the public purse, and the AG, he should know that he has us in his back for him to be able to institute, in line with the new amendments of the Act, for him to recover from those who stole from municipalities, because the deployment, as it's termed, even if it's employment from our understanding in terms of the labor relations, but here what we need him to act and ensure that people are prosecuted. Where he needs assistance, someone is around to help him on how we can pass that passage for him to be able to ensure that we get the results that we're looking for and save municipalities, make them to be very sustainable.
The competence, of course, of local government has been brought under question, because much of the money that they spend is also spent on consultants, and yet some of these municipalities fail to submit their annual financial statements on time to the Auditor-General. It baffles the mind.
It is very disappointing and very painful for our communities to be subjected to an abuse by people who are not competent, who are employed and they are not qualified to do what they're supposed to do. This amendment that was done for the AG to do his work should help us to ensure that we're able to root out wrong elements in the system, because those elements, they compromise community service, they compromise service delivery, they compromise the poor who, at least at this point even now, expect to be getting services, but because someone somewhere in a particular corner did something wrong, we want them to be punished so that we can even recoup. We must chase this money where it is. Those who have done tenders behind the door at the particular corner, we want them to be chased, and money must be returned to the municipalities so that the community can benefit out of what they are paying for services for.
How do you intend on ensuring that these officials are held more accountable? Because currently there doesn't seem to be a way where that has been done, and there certainly doesn't appear to be a will for that to be done, and I'm talking about political will here.
You see, if you want to get a process running, we have legislation in this country. We can't speak about politics, political will, when we have legislation in place that was passed. All what is required is the cooperation between the AG, the Hawks, and NPA, and with evidence that he has in his report. And I can confirm with you now, we had a meeting with the office of the AG late last year, where we said we need to cooperate very closely to ensure that we're able to can chase these daily pickpocketers so that we can save municipalities and make local government more sustainable. And this will be done once we work together among stakeholders who are supposed to save local government to be more sustainable.